Hello, welcome back to Friendly Fire with Mandalorian Podcast episode number 4. As always, there will be spoilers with this, and we'll get right back to you right after this.
The very first scene is what I thought was a flashback where it showed the
All
village
the kids and stuff, yeah.
and they come under attack. By the way, that mom is amazing. The plan of jumping in the water and then throwing the basket over her. I was like, yeah. Right off the... She does that. I'm like, that's a Mandalorian. I will bet you dollars to donuts she's a Mandalorian.
For me, I'm more of like... The kid is like, oh, Jesus. You see that coming and you turn to your mom and just yell, Mom. All time. And mom's like, let me get out of the way. It's like, trying to sidestep the productions to keep going.
Here's the thing. Kids are gonna panic. What actually unsettled me about that scene is they seem like just in the opening shot they seemed like they were a really close-knit tribe. None of those motherfuckers went to help that kid. I was like, I would be cussing some of them out. They're all fucking trampling, almost trampling the mom to get away. And I'm like, one of you bastards could have literally taken 3 feet to grab the kid and run.
Right.
I have some gripes about the episode. That being one of them. 2, the basket thing. While awesome, and I get it because, cinema, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, as soon as, we see they're gone, she, pops out. I'm like,
Yeah, it came out way too soon.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe, do, a peek or something to at least,
right.
show that.
Right.
I'm more of, the basket has holes, so you could have just went...
Yeah, just sit there and kind of wait it out kind of thing. Yeah.
Anyway, so we see, blaster fire, and they're all running, and then these little fucking orc guy people.
Dude, they were moblins from Legend of Zelda.
Right.
I am telling you. I couldn't even... I'm sitting there looking at the race, I'm like, they're too skinny to be Gamorreans.
Up to us now. We must make plans.
Moblins! They're fucking moblins.
So you're
Ganon is attacking.
Ganon is canon. Ganon is
Ganon
canon.
Oh boy.
Darth Ganon. Darth Ganon, Rise of Skywalker, I'm telling you.
That makes sense.
Power force.
Right. So that scene ends. We're on the ship. Fucking Baby Yoda's playing with the Switch.
Have you seen the remix of that?
I didn't watch the episode till today, so I can be sort of fresh.
I was like, I was laughing because he's like, don't play with the switches. Then
right, and then
I'm like,
and he does the fucking look. The kid look like.
My son has done exactly. Don't touch that. Click, and then something fucks up.
Baby Yoda was a fucking gem in this episode.
Yes. He steals the show.
Oh, yeah.
He's not stolen, not eaten every scene he's been in.
Yeah.
Not.
I'm just thinking
Double
of the bar
negative.
scene, but we'll get there.
I love the way this show is written. I gotta say, I've learned that they are trying really hard to stay within the confines of the time allotted. And so I'm starting to kind of forgive things in the pacing, like the basket coming up too soon, and the gun from the first episode. I'm starting to realize that they're cutting a lot of gaps of dead time that would make a lot of sense, just to keep the pacing up. And it really is a Spitfire show, scenes jumping from
It was Ron Howard's daughter that directed this episode too.
Oh no shit!
Yeah,
Excellent.
Silas Howard.
I think the second woman to direct something in Star Wars, right?
I have no idea.
Because the first
I'm not
woman
that
was the last episode. This is the way episode.
Oh really?
This
is the way.
Did you guys notice the jumping back to that last episode real quick because I wasn't here? The container that the Beskar was in. Did you guys recognize that at all?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Ice cream.
The ice cream maker thing.
Yeah.
That was such a cool little nod.
Yeah, that was all him. He's like, no, it was an ice cream machine.
I think I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I'm like, I wish Antoine was here to confirm it. But I'm like, Yeah, fun little fact. That thing's an ice cream maker from one of the other episodes.
Yeah, Empire
he was
Strikes
you
Back,
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So where we leave off in the episode? They were in the
Yoda
ship.
switches.
Baby Yoda
Baby
switches.
Yoda. Have you seen the remix
No.
of the meme of that? Oh god, somebody remixed it to where they're just sitting in there, they're flying.
Lean in.
Am I off camera? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah, scoot over.
Scoot in. Hi. Anyway, somebody remixed it to where Baby Yoda reaches over, flips the channel, and music kicks in. And Mando turns it off. Baby Yoda leans over. Music kicks in louder. Mando turns it off. And Baby Yoda leans over and kicks it in, and it's so loud that it's shaking.
That's awesome.
The actor was like, the only difference there is that I would not have turned that damn song off.
Stop touching things.
Yeah, I love that. Or Baby Yoda.
Alright, so he's plotting the course for this planet, which, coincidentally, is the planet that was getting attacked. Or the village.
To me, that's not too much of a stretch of logic.
Well, no, it's not.
They're,
Just,
they're French
that's how
culture. No
movies-
matter what,
yeah.
no matter what world they're going to, they're going to run into
yeah,
something.
yeah, no.
Because it's Star Wars, and there's fire in space.
Yes.
And sound.
And
Pew, pew,
sound.
pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
And ovaries.
I like to imagine that all
Bet
of
you
the-
thought I was gonna let that go, didn't you?
Well, I wasn't gonna make the
Oh, not
content
you.
last week. Last week I was like, yeah, everything's a sexual overview for you because you're so sex deprived.
Anyway, so they plot the course for the planet, and they touch down on it. Take us there.
To be completely honest, I don't remember much of them.
Me neither, and I watched it today.
Okay, so
Well, that was kind of a dead scene. The transition between them.
no, the Mandalorians. Okay, I'm gonna make a plan. I'm gonna go scout out. You stay here, Baby Yoda, and then he leaves, and Baby Yoda's
just
like,
follows him.
and it's like door goes down, and Baby Yoda's like there, yo.
You stay right here. You stay. Don't move.
And he's like, really?
Come on.
Let's go.
I think it's hilarious, like, how much he's already given into this kid. Like, he's just like, fuck it, he's gonna do what he wants. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's also kind of realized how valuable the kid is to him tactically as well.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like he understands that the kid can take care of himself. Because
I'm completely indifferent. I think it's more of like a Rocket and Baby Groot situation.
Like, he knows he's not gonna win this one. It's just like, just fucking let it happen.
It's like, what do you mean that little rat was mean mugging you?
Right.
Spit that out.
what bugged me though was how that entire and this is why I felt like it was a weird dead scene because we get that awesome scene where he's leaving the ship and Baby Yoda just gives no fucks about his instructions. But it cut several scenes and I couldn't focus on anything other than the fact that it would cut to a scene where Mando walks way forward and Baby Yoda is struggling like crazy to catch up. And then in the next scene, Baby Yoda is right next to Mando. And
But did you notice he was walking faster, though?
well,
His little fucking cute waddle?
all I could picture was like baby Jason Voorhees just teleport, you know?
Well, you know what I thought? Like, how I picture it? It's like, Mando's going this far.
And then he
Fucking escort quest, I gotta wait. And then rinse and repeat. Fucking Warcraft.
I really oh my god, right.
And then he ends up at the bar.
Right?
And this is where we see Gina Carano for the first time. Hopefully more, because I do like her.
I love that character. Like she really needed
Anyways, he orders food for Gizmo Yoda.
Gizmoda.
Yeah. He throws money at the barkeep and be like, hey, what's the deal with her? Because he notices something's different
I love
with
how
her.
that lady did not even realize she was being bribed.
I know, right?
That was.
That lets you know how rude.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thank you.
And then, of course, like, the barkeep leaves and the table's empty.
Right.
She's gone. And so he gets up and he throws money at the barkeep. Watch the kid. And he's like, I want that helmet, by the way, because now he's fucking like Predator stealth following her footsteps.
Right?
And she gets to jump on him because she was up in the air and like footsteps disappeared.
I think in like a second episode review, I yelled the helmet has better technology than the scope, and it does.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of understand why now. Do you want me to get into it because it kind of jumps ahead a little bit in the episode?
Hold on to it.
Okay.
And so the fight happens, and I actually like this fight. I thought it was choreographed pretty well, especially like
I had issues.
Did you? There were some discrepancies, especially with like the way the guns were at one point, but like just the end scene where they're just like, oh, like I thought it looked cool. And then who do we fucking see? Baby Yoda drinking out of a goddamn cup. And all I could think of was like, what the fuck is that barmaid doing? Like, if I was Mando, I'd be like, bitch, I paid you to watch the kid. What'd you do? Watch him walk out?
The look on Baby Yoda's face, like he's been sitting there that whole time just watching the fight, like, neat stuff,
Right?
That picture of Michael Jackson eating popcorn. What bugged me, though, was how he was reacting to getting punched in the face.
Yeah. Especially when you hear the clang, too.
Right, she's bare knuckle, and she's slugging him in a face made out of Beskar. And he's like, oh, jeez, that hurt. Like,
well, maybe it wasn't that it hurt. Maybe it, like, reverbed in there really loud, and it's just like, oh, the sound. Because I could go for that.
Maybe? That makes sense.
Or the classic trope. The footprints ends here. Where could they be? Then it's like, let me think about that for a couple more seconds. Wait, above. Ah!
Yeah, there were definitely some tropes in this episode.
Yeah, but later then I'm like, because it's her, I'm like, they had to get like a suplex body slam of some sort where he's like, bam, flops.
Ex-UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. But I just loved how they're in that position, and that's probably one of the coolest standoff positions I've seen out of a fist fight like that. I mean, they both like had each other pegged, and then they see Baby Yoda just sitting there. And without even mentioning it, he just looks at her, he's like, so you want some soup?
Right?
I'm like, Mando had that because he has a helmet. She doesn't. but did you like the scene where he's like, oh, she's right there. And then he moves his arm away, flicks it to flamethrower, and then brings it back only to get it stomped on. I'm like, why did that hurt?
Actually, that did bug me. Because we've seen him use it and not telegraph it so much.
Hold on. There was a reason for that, though. Okay, that was actually really subtle. He was expecting it to fail. When he flicked it, he looked at it and nodded before bringing it up. Do you remember the last episode?
Yeah, when it ran out.
It ran out. I don't think it ran out. I think it malfunctioned. So I will bet you there was maybe some explanation scene between last episode and this episode that was probably edited out that made that make more sense. Because I thought it was really strange. Yeah, he goes all the way over here to do, like previous episodes, he goes right at him for the flamethrower.
Yeah.
But he brings it all the way out here, flicks it, and then nods for some reason, as if there was something, he was acknowledging something.
For me, I'm like, it didn't look like a malfunction, it just ran out of gas. Because I'm like, because he was doing it, I'm like, oh, it's out of gas.
See, but if that's the case, though, that then they really telegraphed that, and that looked really bad if that ends up being the case.
Right.
Because why would he bring it all the way out here, have it already started, and then bring it back over for her to stomp on it? Right. I'm like, that part was... took me out of it.
Yeah.
Right. You could have choreographed that scene where he comes up like this and flicks it, and she sidesteps and then puts her foot on it. That would have been much better. That's what I'm thinking.
That's really my only gripe.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's like, did they CG that fire or was it practical? That's why they flung it out there and did such a big old swing. Because if it's practical, yeah, you want it big old swing so you can give the other actor.
You don't
time
put
to,
it right at the fucking end.
Yeah,
that's
that
very
makes
possible
sense.
too. Yeah.
I mean, because most of the stuff that we've seen in the show is pretty real that they're
pretty
using.
Plausible.
So yeah, and then they go in, they're talking.
They have their soup.
They have their soup.
I loved her backstory, by the way. And she was just basically a rebel. Yeah, I'll kick some ass. Oh yeah, I'll kick some ass. Peacekeeping? Nah, I'm alright.
Yeah, like nah, I'm out. So, they part. She goes her way. He goes
I thought it
his.
was escort missions where she's like, nah.
Was that it, maybe?
Yeah.
It's like she's played a little bit of video game. She's like fucking World of Warcraft.
So now Mando's back in the ship. Obviously looking like he's gonna take off since the planet's not big enough for the two of them, apparently.
Well, I can actually kind of understand that, because if you've got two people on the run on the same planet, occupying the same space,
We're
one
definitely
brings
gonna
in
get
issue.
out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm just like, man, there's two sides of the planet. But I do get it. And then the villagers come up and be like, oh, we need your help. And he's like, no, go fuck yourself, basically. Sorry, good luck.
Actually, what I thought was really interesting is that was a big indicator of his personality. Because they brought him money, he's like, it's not enough. We can get more, it's not enough. And what I gleaned out of that was that he only works for valuable resource. You've seen previously, he only takes the payments that he can turn into armor or other resource.
Yeah.
The only time he took that money in that scene was when he realized that he could use it to pay her. And he dumps all of it on her.
Oh, yeah. But those motherfuckers and their lame-ass guilt trip, man.
Right?
I guess we'll go back to our village alone and unprotected. I'm like, yeah, you want.
I would have like, bitch!
I was more salty that it's like, why are you taking that little lame hover cart, man? You got a motherfucking spaceship right there. Land next
There
to
it
the
is
side.
again.
You got a spaceship. Use it.
You don't know what the train looks like, man. Anyways.
Dude, it's farmland. It's farmland.
Moving on.
Farmland.
Moving on, Dan.
To be fair, he could have, think about it, like you see the spaceship later on, right? Okay, he could have loaded their little cart thing and them into a spaceship and then flown to their outpost and landed to save them some travel time, and then they simply unloaded the cart there. That way he could have his spaceship
Maybe
closer.
they needed to take the cart to find her.
Huh?
Because she was in the woods. So if you're going to be walking through the woods anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
She's
then you can get.
terrible at hiding if they found her in
think she
the
was
woods that
hiding.
easy. You don't think so? She's hanging out?
She was literally in the bar in the middle of the day.
No, I mean later on in the woods.
Well, I know. I think she was just... I don't think she
Just
actually has
chilling?
anywhere to sleep. I think she just kind of like... leaves her head wherever she wants.
Probably.
That's what her character seemed like to me.
I'm more of like the spaceship would have been so helpful later on in all kinds of situations.
You know.
I'm sticking to it.
I know, you and your goddamn spaceship.
Dang is a shoot them from orbit kind of guy.
I know. I've noticed.
I'm not shoot them from orbit. I'm just saying, if you got some heavy firepower, might as well keep it around.
Well-
because last time you left your ship alone, Falcon Jawa stripped it.
That actually brings up an interesting question. I doubt that ship has any firepower. We have yet to see it shoot.
That's true.
And I do not see any hard points on that ship at all. Every time they've taken off, and I've gotten a good look at it, I'm not seeing any guns. I'm not seeing any missile ports.
Turrets. It's Star
Maybe,
Wars.
maybe.
X-Wings have it. About torpedoes.
Yeah. Well, there are... Anyway,
I mean, I don't know. He doesn't even have a jetpack, so...
Well, I can
Sorry to
understand,
say.
like, maybe lasers, but, like, even then, like, heavy laser cannons have, like, divots, kind of like, machine
right.
guns.
They have set-ins. Typically in Star Wars, whenever they're depicting a missile pod of some sort, there is an elongated blank space, specifically so that you can see where the shots are coming from without the model being damaged back in episode 4, 5, and 6. And they've kind of kept with that tradition throughout the other vehicles, throughout the other movies.
The
even
ship's 2
using
floors,
CG.
so there's space.
There is. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything
for
that
carbonite
looks-
cargo. Here's the thing, though. With Mando, he strikes me as the person that likes getting his hands dirty.
Right, exactly.
So maybe
Well, not only that,
maybe a
but-
ship with guns doesn't really suit his style.
Not only that, but he seems like a person of great integrity.
Mhm.
So he also may not like the idea of...
He's like, we're doing this honorably.
Right, exactly.
Well,
So, they meet up with her. He throws the money at her. They go back to the village. They wake up. They're in the village. Kids. And of course, the little girl's like, "Oh my God, baby Yoda!"
Oh, she is right to do so.
She is, because I probably would like fangirl the fuck out if I was me. Like,
I am at this point. You know,
Yeah.
anytime, baby.
like
Maybe
when she
Yoda.
hugs him at the end, I was like, "You motherfucking bitch."
Get off my Yodismo. You know? So, did you notice that the mother in that village has very intimate knowledge of Mandalorian culture?
And she's the only one that can shoot.
Right. I very firmly believe that she is Mandalorian, and I feel like she is going to come into play later on.
Now that we know a little bit more of the Mandalorian culture,
Well-
that answered our question from last week when we were like, how the fuck does he eat and drink? I didn't know he takes it off in private. But then he's like, yeah, I can't take it off in front of other people. But then the door's wide open and he fucking takes it off to eat. And I'm
He
just
did
like,
that. No,
with the window open.
he did that intentionally. Do you remember him describing the last time he took it off? Somebody had taken him in and gave him food and lodging, and he was grateful. So he took it off. In that scene, it shows them, and specifically her, over with the children, and then we see him take off his helmet and set it aside. I think that was actually a very subtle gesture of appreciation on his part. Yeah.
Right. More talky talk, blah, blah, blah.
They scout, I believe, and they
Oh,
find
yeah.
the trees.
Yeah, and
They're
then
like-
they see the prints of the walker.
Yeah.
We came back, we asked for more pay.
Like,
They're
we
"Nope, we're done."
out. You guys need to fucking leave.
I like how he called him out. The Imperial Walk or the ATST that you knew about and didn't tell.
Yeah. So they scout come back, and then of course Gina's like, "I'm gonna give you guys my motivational speaks. Like I'm Chris Farley, you know." And then she's like, right. And then she's like, "You guys need to leave, blah blah blah." And then Mando's like, "Bring them."
Montage.
And then we get another montage. And these guys are really fucking dumb when they're doing their stick practices. And all I could think of was Army of Darkness.
Yes!
I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here. So you see them, obviously this is all in like the span of a day. Except for those two main motherfuckers that tried to guilt Mando into it, all of a sudden they all knew how to fight. If you watched them, like I was watching them in the background, and those motherfuckers knew how to fight all of a sudden. I was like, that was a pro like martial art move you just did.
Okay. So to be fair, if you notice during that montage, the only people that they show being corrected and instructed
Are
those two idiots. So I feel like
Three. There was one where she had the guy turn the stick around.
Oh, right.
What?
They go back to the camp to go blow shit up. And here's my issue. They have a walker. You see them all drinking by the fire. Not all of them, but why wouldn't you either A, blow up the walker like you did later in the episode, prior, putting one of the bombs in that, and therefore just taking out the whole problem right there, or just stealing the goddamn thing yourself?
Oh, right? I don't know about you. Like, if I was in that situation,
I would have fucking
get me
taken
an ATSD. Can this fit in my fucking ship? You know?
Right. So, like, that part really bothered me, especially for somebody like Mando's skill level, and like we've seen how he can sneak into places and
Hold on. We have seen that Mando is great with skill. His tactics are shit.
yes and no. I feel like he's smart enough to know better than to not fucking blow the thing up. That is the one thing causing the problem.
Probably, yeah, I agree with you there.
So I think that was just lazy writing.
Well, on top
Like
of
they
that,
could have had it attack them in the camp like way earlier than it did. Or, hey, this thing was patrolling and saw you guys and then shit started.
that would have been much better,
Yeah.
to be
It
honest.
would have made it more plausible.
For me, I'm like, see what he did in episode 3, then see what he does in episode
Right.
4. It's a
Like when he breaks into that compound for Baby Yoda.
Actually-
Like his level was
Yeah.
up here and then it was
Well,
just like...
and what's weird is that it really seems like it fluctuates a lot.
Yeah.
oh
'Cause
yeah.
Plot.
breaks into the right. He's got plot tactics.
I'm like, he breaks into the camp and I assume, takes out the beer maker because they're just glowing blue vats, which assume is the same liquor that they've been brewing with using the shrimp.
Right.
So I'm like, you just took out a distillery
Yeah, instead of the main issue.
Yeah. Instead of like the ATST, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, unless they weren't really sure that. But
It's
even
a giant hunk of metal. I think Mando's got fucking technology in his helmet that we've
even
seen.
then, like a 40-foot tall
Scout.
robot is really hard to disguise.
I'm
you
like,
know?
that's what scouting's for. I'm like, they had the camp. They
You
could
just circle the camp, take a look around. Yeah.
And again, helmet, magical
Right?
sightseeing. I'm
Right?
pretty sure
that
there's
can see
night vision.
through walls and
Yeah.
have sound through walls.
Yeah,
Right?
so I'm pretty sure there's motherfucking night vision on there. So yeah, that's
Like-
that's my biggest gripe of this entire series is that scene right there.
Because he absolutely should have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I will say, goddamn, it was exciting seeing it like chase after them with red glowy eyes.
Go!
That was my favorite. That is, after playing like years of Shadows of the Empire and dealing with those guys as bosses, that is exactly how I perceive an ATST every fucking time. Like, they are that creepy and menacing. You know,
Right.
they even had that sound effect, that
Did you
Just
get
gives
the
me
T-Rex,
chills.
right? And stuff like that? When it broke through the trees? Yeah!
I love that. I thought it was
Yeah,
just the greatest
I thought that was cool, just
depiction.
hearing the thump, and then like you would see the eyes, and then they would disappear because of the foliage and stuff, and then boom, they'd show up again, and then disappear again,
Yes.
and then it's just like boom.
That was just creepy as fuck.
Yeah, they're running back to the camp. And they're like, everybody get ready. The walker comes out with that cool scene, and they're trying to lure it into the water.
Oh, geez, there is this very clear funneling with stick walls pointing at me to this pool of water.
Right.
I'm not going to go in the pool of water. I see your trap, but I'm not smart enough to kick the sticks.
Right.
Like, just whatever.
But
I'm like, laser cannons, just blast that. They're logs, they're wood.
Right.
Shoot them.
well, I'm
clearly
talking
there's
about
stormtroopers in there shooting because
It's
that
in
thing
the
wasn't
name.
very accurate.
all-terrain scout transport, right? All-terrain, I'm pretty sure pointy sticks counts as a terrain of sticks.
And water.
Right?
I'm more of like, it could have been that deep for it to tip over.
Well, it wasn't
Right.
because even Gina Carano was laying in it. Like,
Well, okay, so I understood that a little bit because it's a bipedal robot and it's got reverse joints. So if you get one leg too low on a bipedal robot with reverse joints, it immediately destabilizes its weight.
well, yeah, that would make sense too because it'd be going into a mud.
Right, and so that's kind of what they were setting up to do was that the ATST has to have both feet on the ground as soon as possible to keep its stability, okay? So if it goes and puts its foot down and there's nothing underneath it, this leg actually collapses only so far. It can only go down so far before it tips the robot over.
Sounds
And that's-
like me.
That's exactly what they depicted there. So the science and the mechanics behind that made perfect sense.
I'm more of like, if they walked to one end and just turned around and put one foot down and twisted the torso because it has swivel joints.
Let's twist again like we did last summer.
I don't think it would really work that well.
It depends on how deep it is, but it
Right.
could go down a slope like that. Like going at an angle instead.
No, because it doesn't. The joints on the legs do not twist. The head twists. So the joints, and that's part of the structural issue with ATSTs, is that the leg joints are largely rigid to this bottom platform that holds the head unit. So if that platform rotates, both legs rotate into the same direction. So like when you see an ATST walk, it does this forward step thing. And it can't really cross over its legs in any way, shape, or form. So it
It'd be
doesn't
bad
have
at the
the
NFL.
turning, right? It doesn't have that turning possibility. Like when it turns, it has to take a step forward, take a step back, and then reposition. It's part of why ATSTs are really hard to turn or maneuver.
Editing this all out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
I'm like, yet again, worst design mecha.
Oh God, yes.
I'm like, their old technology is way better. Why did they upgrade to crap? I'm like, the six-legged walker can
no,
go up walls.
It really is like a money thing, believe it or not. The Empire is all like, oh, we got these great machines, but they're expensive to make. Make the shitty cheap ones. And they'll put like 500 of them. I mean, that's
Roger.
and gets taken out by two logs. God, yeah, fucking evil.
Heroes of the story.
I mean, you're the lowest bidder, right? Your guns are made by the lowest bidder when you're in the
Anyway, so we hit the walker, like it stops, and then we see the moblins come out.
Ganon was piloting.
Right. And then fucking Mando's disintegrating bitches again. I fucking love that thing.
Right?
God, it's so satisfying.
It is nice to know exactly what kind of gun that is too, because she named it finally.
Yeah,
Pulse rifle.
Yeah.
Which actually explains why the camera on that is so shitty. Pulse rifles don't have stock cameras. That is a modified pulse rifle, which is why it does so much more than
Pulse.
essentially, yeah. Like in the second episode, we see him hit somebody in the back, or hit somebody with the back of it, and it electrocutes them. That thing is modified to all hell. I'm not at all surprised that the camera on that thing is shitty.
I'm like, it's a scope attachment. You can place it.
Yeah, anyways.
500 credits more.
I can't wait.
I'm just saying, Star Wars RPG.
Anyway. That was fun. So obviously the fighting ensues. And everybody else in the village suddenly knows how to fight. Except those two dummies.
Yet they get the primary kill.
All right.
What the fuck?
And of course Gina Ground's like, I got an idea, and takes his pulse rifle, which is what you said. She mentions it. And I thought that was cool, like having her go out and like trying to distract it and shoot stuff. Another issue, and maybe I missed this watching it. They like made sort of a big deal about this woman who was able to shoot, and I don't recall her actually shooting anything.
No, they show her crack-shotting a couple times.
Oh,
actually.
I missed it then.
Well, it's the way they cut the scene that kind of throws it off, because you see her prop up, go for a shot, pull the trigger, and then it cuts to another scene where there's several guys, and you watch like 3 guys consecutively in the off distance go down. And I think they were trying to indicate that she shot those 3 while they were keeping the action of this forward guy still aggressing. And I think the scene was poorly comprised to show how good she was.
Okay.
And going back to when she charges the tank, I was like, oh my god, this is so dumb. Because I was like a Warhammer. Charge that! I need to get closer. I need to hit it with my sword while in a tank, you know? Because I'm like, you're really going to take this gun up to a tank that has been proven not to work on it, and then just pop shot it from underneath to distract it?
Well, yeah, because
Actually,
you're still going to be like looking and be like, oh, hell no.
Well, I actually think that was her plan. From the way they set up the scene, she rushes in, drops into a pool of water just in front of it. It's a different pool than the one it's standing at. Right. So it's probably substantially deeper than we're giving credit for. And then she takes cover there and takes a couple pot shots at it to get it to look down. Okay, I think what she's doing is trying to get its center of gravity forward a little bit, because it keeps showing that its toes are teetering on the mud.
And
so
you see the mud start to like break.
Right, what she's trying to do is get it to move around and look for her, and that causes it to tip over. And that's why she was getting disintegrator shots in the bottom of it.
And then, of course, like it has a spotlight on her, and then she's like, pew, gets the eye thing, and it's just like eye patching it.
Which was awesome. Disintegrator does that to it, you know. I feel bad for the guy who.
And then it fell over, and no, lo and behold, now he's smart enough to use a fucking little thermal grenade thingy on it. Right. I'm like, you could have just like fixed this 20 minutes ago, dude.
The other part that I wondered about was that typically in video games, the neck is the weak point of the ATST, and I can't help but wonder if her whole plan was actually to try and get close and then fire the disintegrator shot at the neck itself, and that's why she got closer. And that's why he was like, so that's the plan. She's like, sort of. Maybe her plan didn't work at all.
Possible, yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I'm like, this feels such like a filler episode on tactics and everything. Because, like, the explanation, I seen, like, platoons of trained soldiers get wiped out by one of these one-day trained village people
Hold on,
Boom.
hold on. But to be fair, that is groups of trained soldiers getting wiped out by an ATST piloted by a trained pilot. This was a
That's
moblin.
true.
If you ever watched the Legend of Zelda cartoon, they are bad at everything.
Yeah, but
And you thought I was gonna be serious.
but all I'm saying is like, you know.
But in all seriously, all seriousness, those guys did not seem very intelligent or tactically
No.
sound at all.
Well, no, because the thing blew up and they all fucking ran away like little bitches.
Right.
Charged type AI. Yeah. just
Right,
move
exactly.
forward.
And so I don't really expect that thing in their hands to be able to wipe an entire platoon.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would also explain like shitty aiming with it.
Right, exactly.
Aim for the barricades. You hit the house. I hit something.
We watched that scene that happens. I immediately look to Dawn and go, "Oh, look, I'm piloting it."
Alright, so we get our happy ending. Doesn't look like anybody dies that I noticed. Day training. I mean, these guys may be dumb, but they look like, you know, fighting's kind of their thing. Can't take out a shittily trained one day
Shrimp
villager.
farmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrimp
Yeah.
farmer.
Yeah.
I mean, shrimps fucking kill you, so.
No, they kill Mike. I just don't like.
Okay.
Oh my god. That bounty hunter scene in the woods.
Yes.
Dude, when I watch him line up that shot, like he's looking at Mando and then he goes over to Baby Yoda, I'm like, bitch, don't you dare. And he goes right for the head. I'm like, don't, and then they cut away and they do a gunshot. I stood up in my
birds
seat.
fly.
I'm like, no, you didn't. They didn't.
I know. I
was
a
about
part
to
of
be
me,
mad.
a part of me, kind of wanted them to. Here's why.
Because then they established that nothing is safe in the show.
No, that's not why. Literally because I knew it would fuck with you. Because you were so conflicted about this little green fucker. I knew you would be pissed, even though you're like, oh, the Force.
I'm like, they did not keep Baby Yoda a secret just to kill him off
Yeah.
halfway through himself. I'm like,
No, especially because he's the like, even if that was the case, they probably reshot it because of how popular.
I actually think they did exactly what I was talking about our first podcast about how whenever you implement something like the Force, you have to display
away.
it, use it as a thing, and then immediately remove it.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what the scientist did in that second episode or third episode, is that he actually removed the midichlorians out of Yoda.
you said it.
Yeah.
Midichlorian.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
I
Blood
think
for
it's
DNA.
very possible. It could be, because again, Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yoda
you were
clone.
right. The patch was the cloning facility.
I knew it. So I'll bet you dollars to donuts.
Donuts to dollars.
Dollars to donuts.
But,
I
like,
buy
Pawn shop first.
We could ask her.
oh,
That
you
is
know,
Dang's sister's name, by the way.
you know she shot first.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the time.
Oh yeah.
You're stupid. Boom.
And so yeah, he's like, this is no place for me. You know, they'll keep coming. I'll leave the kid with you. He's happy here. Fucking chases the frog. Gets another fucking frog in his mouth.
All the kids were giving him the
Kids
mean
freak out.
mug.
He's like, no,
oh! He fucking spits it out. And he's just like, oh, the
I'm
little,
telling
oh,
The-
little
the
bastard
Yoda
does things to
plushies-
my heart, man.
The Yoda plushies that everybody's raving about right now, by the way, pre-orders are gone.
Of course they are.
are. That fucker had better come with a little plushy frog for me to stuff in his mouth.
And then, of course, that's when we discover the bounty hunter. Get the shot. That was Gina Carano's character that kills him. They go out and find him, and they flip. Mando flips the dead body over. That's where the beacon is. He stomps on. It's like they'll never stop coming for him. So obviously now he has to take the kid and run.
Yeah. Yet again, the trophy sniper shot. I was like, oh no, they're not gonna pull the trigger.
No.
Then black screen shoot. I'm like, no, I know you didn't. So
Oh, yeah,
some,
no,
some
it was-
kind of trophy
you
thing.
You knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
like-
Some kind of trophy thing.
Yeah.
Then later it's you see the reaction from Mando, and I'm like, oh, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. Look over. There she is
That
with the
dude's
gun.
back
I'm
was
like,
fucked up.
ah.
Oh, dude, a point blank shot from that thing? What kind of fucking gun is that? And
I
can
don't
get
know,
it
but it's pretty
Battlefront,
awesome,
you know?
right? Just like, wow. And that's pretty much it, you know? The lady's like, see you again. And they're like, oh. And then he fucking takes out with little Yoda again.
So what do you think is gonna happen next, or what you're hoping to happen?
Carl Weathers teams up with the Mando.
Okay, so here's my concern.
That was a planned shot. He knew the Beskar was there.
I actually felt the same way, yeah. I actually expect one, maybe two more filler episodes.
Because we got, was what, episode 4?
This is episode
So we got 4
4
left.
Right.
I don't necessarily think they're going to be filler episodes. Maybe not all.
Here's the thing, is that the show is
towards
following
the plot.
the
but-
show is following a whole lot of tropey structuring and episode layout for a show. And so I really think that the last 3 episodes are going to be the only important episodes where they just dump all of the exposition on you. Like right off the bat, we find out Yoda's origin will not be revealed until the very end of the last episode, but we'll probably get it there. I don't expect to see Captain Awesome Pants until that episode as well. So I really think they're going to do the next 2 episodes purely filler. They will probably tease a little bit that the bounty hunters are starting to coalesce on him a little bit more effectively. They will probably reintroduce the Empire in some way.
Or the
in,
First
like,
Order, because that's.
right, in like 2 episodes. But I expect that the next 2 to just be filler.
I just want to see more of the what was it called? The Covert, or the Mandalorian concave?
Covert.
Thing? Yeah, Covert.
Yeah.
Which I thought
Yeah.
was a cool name for
Yeah.
a Mandalorian tribe. You know?
Yeah.
I do think we're going to get maybe a little more in his backstory this week.
Because
Probably.
I want more.
And
Because
that's
it's been like every other episode.
Right, and that's what makes me think it's going to be filler. It's probably going to be a lot more just history on him than anything towards the
Yeah.
main overarching plot.
Yeah, regroup, find out where the new location is and stuff like that.
I don't think we will see anything about the new location or any other
he might just be
Mandalorian.
a ship like
The
the America.
Mandalorians, that covert is just like the Force. It is a one-time use plot device that you have to get rid of immediately. And that's why they're like, we have to move the convert. Get rid of it immediately from the story. We will not see another Mandalorian.
That sucks because I love this.
I think-
That was the coolest scene ever, right? When you just see those jetpacks come up and the rockets
Yeah.
start. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I also loved Iron Man 3.
Baby
Yeah.
Yoda is clone of Yoda.
And-
Just making sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh, with that, we'll see you next week. If you guys liked what you saw, obviously you know what to do on YouTube. But if you want to see more of us, check us out on Twitch. The link will be down below, where we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and we get together and play games together. And it's pretty fun. So until next time, I'm Clinton, Antoine, Dang. Have a good one.